guys, and welcome back to Baja Talks Books. We're here for the penultimate. Oh wait, is penultimate the last episode?
Second to last.
Oh, second to last. Okay, so not penultimate. The ultimate episode.
Mm-hmm. The climax.
Bro, I want to have sex with this wine girl on my monster can, bro. Why she bad, dude? Bro, he gets it.
I'm gonna put this white monster between my two monster peaches and think about putting my white monster between your monster peaches. That was a bar. Think about it.
No,
think about it for a second. Just think about it for a second.
Think about it.
No, you criticize the things that I say, and then you say something like that.
The things I say make sense, and they're funny. You just have to.
Well, I think you're half right.
No, I'm half white.
That too.
Anyways, yeah, we're back with chapter 58 and onwards. I'm like 90% sure we ended on chapter 57. It's been long enough now that I don't remember. This is our first episode back after like a month, maybe two.
I think it's been 2. It's been a long time.
Because, yeah, stuff just kind of kept happening. I broke my nose, then it was Christmas, then it was New Year's, then I don't remember what happened in January, but towards the end of January I got
2 jobs for you.
Yeah. I only recently stopped doing that, so now I have time to record again. There was something else that happened in January too that we just didn't have time for, but I don't remember what it was. So anyway, yeah. We're back, Elantris. We're going to just finish the entire book and just speed through the whole climax. Thankfully, these chapters are pretty short. So we got chapter 58, which is Raiden. And Raiden, he wakes up to Dilaf just sucking on his toes. You know that scene in Bring Her Back? Or, no, not Bring Her Back, Talk to Me?
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's just sucking on his toes.
I love that scene. The demon's just sucking on her toes and she wakes up and she's sucking the guy's toes and she's like, no, it was my dead mom or whatever. And he's like,
oh, yeah, it was like her ex-boyfriend who was dating her friend or something.
He's like, what? What?
You can't do that anymore. We're not in a relationship.
Imagine showing up to like your ex's house and then you wake them up by sucking on their toes, and you're like, no, my long dead mom was the one doing it. You don't understand. I was getting my toes sucked by my long dead mom, and that's who was sucking your toes. And they're just like, 911?
Get out of my house.
The accident wasn't your fault. That whole movie kind of just felt like the accident wasn't your fault. It was 20 years ago. The accident wasn't your fault.
You have to let go.
Yeah. Good movie, but it did just kind of feel like that.
Yeah, I really enjoyed it. Bring Her Back is also very good.
Bring Her Back's also really good. Even that one didn't do as well. I think I like that one a little bit better than Talk to Me, actually.
I don't know. I think I like Talk to Me a bit more.
To be fair, I watched Bring Her Back in like a cabin house, like in the Tahoe woods. So like, it just kind of helped with the environment because we're like in a cabin in the middle of nowhere in Tahoe.
Yeah.
Just kind of a vibe.
Yeah. For when I watched Talk to Me, I got a call from the manager of Roundtable when I was working there, just being like, hey, dog, did you accidentally take money from the register? Like, I'm not accusing you. And it's like, dog, no, you gave me the money. You gave me the amount. This is how much I have. And he's like, okay, well, someone messed up. Anyway, it's like, all right, thanks for the chat. I'm going back to my movie now.
Nice. I like how he asked too. Like, so did you steal from us?
Did you steal?
No, I would never.
Like, it's fine. Well,
yeah,
it's
that's
fine
fair.
if you're a little scamp. I understand.
He's like, just checking. Just had to make sure.
Because, I mean, you may have stolen, but I know that you wouldn't lie about it if you did. You'd be like, all right, you got me.
Like, they're either one of the two. They either lie or they steal. Nobody ever does the two at the same time. Nobody does the same two at the same time.
Yeah, it's like you have to choose which door to go through. One of us lies, one of us steals. Anyway.
And then they just, it's like, what's the movie with Hugh Grant and Sophie Thatcher, my queen? Heretic, yeah. It's how the two doors lead to the same room.
I do love that one. It's a really good movie as well.
I was thinking they should cast Actually, never mind. I can't say that because we haven't read that one yet. Dang it.
They should cast the book character? What?
There's a Sanderson book that has a character that I think Sophie Thatcher would be really good as. Because I could see her.
Hey, honestly, any of them. Even the guys.
Honestly, just we don't
matter.
even need a movie. Just live stream her like live on the screen, and me and Patrick will just be in there. Ooh, yeah, okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, dude, this plot is getting interesting. Ooh,
Yeah,
Bro, I plan on watching Yellow Jackets, not because I care about the actual plot,
but just for Sophie
just for
Thatcher,
Sophie
yeah.
Thatcher.
It's actually pretty good. I
is
started
it?
watching it, and I was
Okay.
like, this is pretty good TV. I mean, it has like a ton of seasons, so I didn't finish it, but
You didn't finish. Yeah, it happens to the best of us.
it is what it is. You win some, you lose some.
Happens when you get older.
In this case, imagine you go to this
Imagine
divorce
in this
lawyer,
case, imagine
and he's like, you've lost the kids, and you're like, you win some, you lose some, and he's like, yo, you lost them, all right, and they take your kids. Divorce is a strange thing.
Yeah, I hate it when that happens. Happened to me
Yeah.
last week.
Yeah, it's when you wake up in a cold sweat. Speaking of which,
Wake up in
amazing
a cold sweat with
segue.
someone sucking on your toes.
Speaking of which, amazing segue into this chapter that we got one line into and immediately started talking about toes, which it says a lot about us, I feel like.
I
But
feel like it says a lot about how bad this book is.
if they had added sucking toes into this scene, I would have been like, yo, Dilloff, really a freak.
You've been like, maybe I was wrong about this book, actually. Maybe this book is good.
Maybe this is actually fire. This book is so tough. Yeah, Raiden wakes up and he's just tweaking a little bit and he's hearing people screaming and like metal and stuff. And so he gets out of bed and runs into the corner and then he like sees a bunch of dudes, but they're not really dudes. These are the guys we saw in the last chapter.
bunch of naked dudes.
Yeah, the monks of Dacor. I mean, it doesn't say if they're naked, but it doesn't say if they've clothes on. It says they're bare-chested, so they might actually be butt naked, which honestly, that would make it like 10 times more terrifying. Not only are they like demon men with like weird symbols like producing from their flesh, it's like they're butt naked. It's everywhere. You're seeing all of it.
It's swinging back and forth.
And yeah, that
like a
would be
grandfather clock.
that's like some like Dark Souls thing like that. Either that or like
Dark Souls just has naked dudes running around.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got your main character if you take off all his clothes.
Well, yeah.
Fucking weird ass nipple like scar.
or like maybe more Resident Evil. I feel like weird misshapen dude with like I don't know, like freaky on nuts and stuff like that.
I mean, Outlast has that. They have a bunch of naked dudes hanging
true.
around. You can see their penises hanging out.
Okay, that's fair. Outlast. I still haven't played Outlast Trials. I want to. It looks fun, but
It's the original Outlast, not Trials, but
oh well.
Outlast Trials also seems pretty cool. I've heard it's pretty good.
And apparently there's a penis in it.
Yes, more penises.
More penis.
This is exactly what I wanted.
They need to make a Steam tag that's just penis, so you can search up by penis.
Penis, and then if you have a
How many
sequel to
penises
it,
are in this game?
at least 4.
It's like those websites where you can go and they'll have like the moms review the movie or whatever. But Raiden, he's watching these soldiers try and beat up these demon guys, and the demon guys pretty much plow through them. And the lead guy like turns around. Raiden's like, "Wait a second, that's Dilloff. Dilloff, the really evil guy who's like nobody thinks is actually. Everyone's like, oh, it's just Dilloff, bro. He can't do that much damage. And no, he's like evil." And then Dilloff just runs across the room and absolutely cooks Raiden and just smacks him in the stomach, and Raiden drops and he's like, bring him. And then he takes him back to his room to get freaky with him. And then it cuts to Sereni, who's also walking around. And this part is interesting because Sereni's like trying to tell this beggar to deliver some stuff. And the beggar's...
Don't mind me, bro.
Is Patrick good? Patrick started
I keep fucking up
tweaking.
my Bellagio run.
Dang, skill issue.
Yeah, and then so she's having this beggar help her like deliver supplies, and he's watching Elantris, and then she drops this interesting line. You needn't be so afraid, Hoyd. You have a new king now, which I don't know if you guys recognize that name.
I do. I'm aware of Hoyd.
Do you recognize the name Hoyd?
No.
Hoyd is the name of the beggar in Mistborn.
Oh, okay. Yeah, I don't remember that.
That shows up like I think 3 different times.
I only remember the one where
Kelsier gets information from him.
Yeah, I remember Kelsier talking.
Does he show up in Hero of Ages and Well of Ascension? Because I don't think he does.
Yeah, I don't remember him.
Hero of Ages, yes. There is. He's mentioned again when Vin goes to, I think, Fadrex City at the end, the guy with the Audium like crystal that he like hides because he's an Audium misting. And there's like she's supposed to go meet him as an informant. That I think like Ham is like, oh, I'll set you up with like Kelsier's old informant. Yeah. And then she goes there and then she gets like a weird feeling about it and decides to leave instead.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, so...
Yeah, no, because I did not put that together.
Yeah, so I guess Hoyd is just in Elantris now and still being a beggar.
Dang. Because, this would have to take place after Elantris, then? Or not after. After Mistborn?
What makes you say that?
Well, the fact that there's not ash everywhere?
They're different planets.
Dang, so he traveled planets and is still a beggar?
Yeah.
I mean, I have a feeling there's more to it than him just being a beggar.
Bro is just an interplanetary
Did you read the posts or the extra anniversary edition, like Hoyd epilogue?
Mm-mm.
Well, okay. I'll have you read it in a second, then we can... it's really short. It's like 2 pages or something. But, yeah, Elantris takes place on a different planet. The planet that Mistborn takes place on, which when we get to Mistborn's Secret History, I'll have you read the planetary system essay for it, but it's a planet called Scadrial, which also has no moon.
Yes, I do remember them.
Which is funny because
not talking about the fact that the moon, they just talk about the stars.
Yeah, just stars, no moon, which is funny because the second series is called Wax and Wane, which they don't have a moon, so how do they know what that means? Somebody actually asked Brandon about that, and he's like, oh, well, you can still use it in like other like ways, and they still have tides and stuff because it's not it is mostly the moon, but tides aren't fully the moon, so you can still have the waxing and waning of stuff. But yeah, Elantris is a different planet, different time period. There have been people who have figured out from like cross-referencing in-world events through different books, like what the actual timeline is. And I think Elantris and Mistborn are like a couple thousand years apart or something. I don't remember. But also all the different planets have different like speeds at which they like people age and stuff. So it's all relative. But yeah, Hoyd is on a different planet apparently, still being a beggar.
Good for him.
And he's just helping her move boxes. And and then he leaves and she's like, all right, go tell him a shipment is coming, Ash. And then Ash leaves. And nothing really else happens except she hears screams and goes toward it and then notices that this carriage stopped and everyone's just being killed. There's these weird shirtless dudes. It says they're shirtless, but it doesn't say if they're pantsless. Mm-hmm. Maybe he just didn't want to write that in there.
Yeah. The original draft's just like, and their things were hanging like grandfather clocks chiming back and forth.
Oh, yeah.
Then he's like, nah, I got to cut that out.
He's like, oh, I can't leave that in there.
No, not until my later books can I write about that.
Yeah, and then these dudes, like, I get, like, weird Fortnite vibes, kind of, because the one dude is like, oh, shoot, the coachman, he's like, oh, shoot, I should get out of here. And so he turns and takes off with the horses, and one of the weird soldiers turns around and just, like, jumps all the way across, like, a huge distance to land on his back and kill him. And that's something I do in Fortnite all the time.
You see a guy running away on horses, and you go, rah!
Rah! Okay, well, not that specifically, but like huge jumps across. Yeah, Fortnite goated. They just added The Simpsons to Fortnite.
I'm really, because I'm almost positive that when Mistborn gets released, they're going to add back in Kelsier. Because
I would not be
I haven't
surprised.
played Fortnite in years. However, I will probably go on specifically just to get that and nothing else.
Yeah, I'm really mad I wasn't able to get a hold of that skin.
You know, because it's also just such a wild thing that it's in Fortnite.
Yeah, especially like years ago.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it wouldn't, like, probably not now that Fortnite's so popular. It kind of had to have happened at like a time when Fortnite was still like on the come up, because then you can get away with things like that for like a lesser known IP, and now it would be like stuff like The Weeknd or Simpsons. But yeah, Serena just tries to run away, and then something tries to grab her, and it's one of the weird twisted monster figures. And then out of nowhere, the creature just gets absolutely yeeted, and this guy shows up, and Serena's like, what the heck? And it's her uncle Keen. Kayine. Apparently his name is supposed to be pronounced Kayine, but I am not saying that. I'm just calling him Keen. He's got an enormous axe that he just like starts chopping up people with. Niche reference, but it reminds me of Axon from Bionicle.
Yeah, no, I'm not gonna be able to help you with that one, buddy.
Extremely niche reference. Keen just shows up and he just turns into an absolute legend, starts crushing this dude's head in with his axe and smashing bones and stuff so it stops moving. He grabs her and they ran back to the mansion. Keenan's like, Luke, release the entryway or collapse the entryway or something like that.
Release the files.
And then he just like collapses the entryway, which I like how that's just, they just have a lever there to collapse the entryway. Nice.
It's like having the large self-destruct button.
Yeah. I mean, I guess it gets explained why later, but it's still like, oh, you have a lever specifically to collapse the entryway that's just right there.
Yeah,
What if somebody leans against it and your entryway just collapses forever?
When it was meant to be collapsed.
Keen just standing there like, oh my, I can't believe I had to pick up this cursed weapon again. Serena's like, wait a second, I recognize that axe. And then she looks and there's a Aeon that says punishment on the side, which I don't know, maybe he's freaky like that. And she's like, wait a second, why would a merchant need to know how to use one of those? And he's like, I'm not a merchant. And the entire time, this dude was Drioke the Crush Throat Pirate. Yeah, so her Uncle Keen is Drioke Crush Throat. And she's like, wait a second, you tried to steal the throne from my dad. And he's like,
sorry.
He's like, no, actually, you're wrong. I tried to take the throne that my brother stole from me while I was out on like my trips and stuff. And she's like, what? And then that's a problem for a later time because Dilaf rolls in, or it cuts to Dilaf rolling in next to Raiden. And he starts talking to Hrathen. He's like, oh, Hrathen, this is how you deal with heretics. Heretic mentioned? Peak mentioned? Sophie Thatcher? Let's go!
And then he passes out from all his hyperventilating.
And Hrathen is obviously appalled by this. And he's like, bro, you're like killing everyone. Where's the glory for Jadith in this? And Dilaf just goes full crazy and he's like, do not question me. Hrathen's sitting there and we get this freaky line. We get this completely normal heterosexual line. Hrathen ran his eyes over Dilaf's bare chest. Hrathen's stomach turned to the lines and curves that ran like varicose veins beneath the man's skin. We get a little heterosexual action from our completely straight friend Hrathen here.
Yeah, also, guy who wrote the Brandon just writing this, just like, yep.
Oh yeah,
this is exactly what everyone wants to hear about. Gay men, yeah.
And then we get a pretty awful line. I mean, like, in terms of the English language, it's pretty awful. Dilaf wasn't just a monk. And he wasn't just a graduate. He was a monk and graduate of the most infamous monastery in Fjorden. You didn't have to repeat monk and graduate again. Nobody made you do that. And then like, Dakhor, the Order of Bone. And then Hrathen whipped out his bone. He's like, Dilaf, show me how you order with your bone.
I whipped out mine. Now you show me yours.
Jarvis, pull out this guy's bone.
Jarvis, pull out this guy's bone. We get a little lore dump. Incantations used to create Dakhor monks were secret. Even the Gjorns didn't know them. A few months after Boy gets initiated into the Dakhor order, his bones start to grow and twist, adopting strange patterns. I think that's just called growing up and puberty, but okay.
It's called having pubes.
It's called having pubes is crazy. When your ball hair starts growing. I went to Dakhor and all I got was this ball hair.
All I got were these large bones and ball hair.
And Hrathen just starts having flashbacks because he did go to Dakhor for a bit. And he starts thinking about all the priests chanting over him and the pain, all the pain, the pain, capital P pain, all the pain.
It's not enough.
And Hrathen, he's a real pussy because he just left after a few months to join a different monastery. And Hrathen thinks about that and he's like, you were Fjordo all this time? And Dilaf's like, oh, you never suspected. Oh, this is so easy. I'm really the goat here. I've been playing you this whole time. And Hrathen's like, oh, okay. Yeah, you kind of did. You kind of got me there. I'll admit it. Just a little bit. You kind of got me. And then and Dilaf starts doing his evil villain monologue and starts laughing. He's like, oh, Hrathen, you never did understand your place, did you? Wern didn't send you to convert Erlon. Hrathen's like, what? I got like a letter right here. And he's like, oh, yeah, I know your orders. Reread that letter. Like, it's not what you think it is. You're just a distraction. I'm here to just like kill everyone. He always intended to kill everyone. He needed the victory to like prove that he could kill everyone, because that's how it works around here. Like, we just show up, crush a bunch of people, and then everyone else is like, oh, no, don't crush us. And then they know what happens when you blaspheme against Jadith. And Hrathen's like, that's not how that works. Like, they don't even know Jadith. How are they supposed to like blaspheme against something they don't get? Which I think is another really interesting point that for someone who's religious to point out that, like, how can you blaspheme or like disobey if you don't know the religion? Like, I think that's a lot of Christians and stuff, especially Mormons, judge different like people, even if like they don't know the gospel.
Yeah, and also if they're not part of the religion.
Yeah, like how are they? Yeah, it's an interesting point that gets brought up where Hrathen's just like, but that doesn't make any sense. Like you're judging them for like sins that they don't even know they're committing sins, and you're judging them for it anyway. And Dilaf just absolutely pimp slaps him, and he's like, "Oh, shut up, bro! Like I'm not listening to this. This is unholy. If we destroy them, we end the heresy of Elantris forever." So Dilaf's master plan is just only people from Arlon Teod can become Elantrians. We just kill all of them and boom, no more Elantrians. No more heresy. And Hrathen has this growing numbness where he's like, what is wrong with this guy? You're just going to slaughter all of them?
I've become so
no, I can't feel you there.
Hrathen would for sure listen to like Linkin Park.
Oh, yeah.
System of a Down.
Linkin Park, some Limp Bizkit.
Oh, for sure. I feel like
he's actually like a Papa Roach guy. He's like, cut
definitely.
my life into pieces.
I feel like that would be Serene. She would listen to Papa Roach.
No, she would listen to like Sabrina Carpenter.
No, she would listen to like Youngblood and TX2.
I feel like she would listen to like slightly alternative girl music.
No,
just
I feel
enough
like,
where it's like I'm not like the other girls. I listen to slightly less popular music.
See, I feel like
still popular.
That is like Sabrina Carpenter listeners. Like they're like, oh, I'm not like other girls. I'm so different and unique. But then it's the most like bland, boring stuff possible.
Or like
yeah.
or
Lana Del Rey.
Grimes. She would definitely listen to
Grimes.
For sure.
No, Grimes is too out there for her.
That's fair. That's fair.
She would definitely listen to Lana Del Rey though, and like Ariana Grande. It'd be like, oh, I'm so unique and different. I feel like she would listen to.
I feel like she's the type to listen to like sad lesbian music, but not be a sad lesbian. Like just to be straight one.
She's the type of person who gets like her music taste straight from TikTok. Just whatever's popular on TikTok at the moment. And then she's like, oh, it's this new song. I'm so different from everyone else.
It's this new song that I found. By I found, I mean that was the very popular song for the week that everyone was using.
There's this new Harry Styles song. Nobody's on this but me. Mm-hmm. And then, yeah, that's totally her. I feel like Raiden would listen to like Harry Styles, One Direction, like the most bubbly like boy band pop stuff possible. He'd be listening to like early 2000s Pitbull or something.
Hey, and he's real for that one.
I feel like Raiden would be like an indie rock kind of guy. He would for sure listen to like
Wallows.
The Strokes. Yeah, Wallows or the Strokes. He would definitely be what Midwest emo. He definitely listens to American football.
Yeah,
for sure.
I feel like those are too like interesting for him. Like he's such a bland character.
He's such a goy.
His whole his goy cell chud slop life.
Yeah, dude, exactly. What he said.
Like his whole personality is just I'm so happy and preppy and I make things right. Like something like American football would just be like, fair. Why isn't this in 4-4? Why is everyone so sad?
Why are they sad? Why? How could you be sad when everything is so awesome and everything goes good for you the
that would
first
be his
time?
favorite song. Everything is awesome.
Everything is awesome. Yeah, that would totally be. Yeah.
Yeah, he seems like he would listen to music from like kids' movies and TV shows.
And Diloff listens to like Gojira and Tool.
That's fucking lit shit.
And like the Seer and stuff by what's his face? Swans. That's Diloff's anthem. Mm-hmm. A like 20-minute long like semi orchestral weird biblical song.
I don't know. I kind of feel like Diloff would listen to like clowncore.
Yeah, Diloff would be like clowncore. This slaps.
Guys, you don't understand.
And then on the down low, he'd listen to like Miley Cyrus or something.
Yeah.
He's a DL on Grindr.
I joined Grindr because I thought it was an app for hustlers, but all I get is dudes showing me their penises.
Anyway, and now I'm turned on and I can't bother hustling.
What? And then we get to chapter 59, where this is a banger line. Raiden awoke to new pains. That would be a sick band name. New Pains. It sounds like something from the 80s. And then is he still on Elantrian? Yes, he is. Yeah. Yeah, he's still on Elantris, so how did he just I don't know, I guess it says like, oh, he spent the week dealing with all the like doors random crushing attacks. Like this isn't that bad. But I feel like they've shown other Elantrians like succumbing to madness by worse pains than these. Because he says his entire body hurts and he got beat up pretty bad.
You don't understand. He's a special guy who was built different.
Oh, I'm sorry. And then Diloff wakes him up and they pull up and Raiden realizes like, wait a second, we're at Keen's like Hill House. And then Diloff is trying to make like a deal with, or wait, not Diloff. Diloff says, oh, I'm here to make a deal. And Raiden's like, no. But then the blow to his brain had done something. And then it cuts to inside and Keen's like, you guys realize that dude's like crazy, right? We're not going to make a deal with him because he's just going to kill all of us. And then Sereni's like, I can't look away. I have to at least speak to him, say goodbye. Because she realizes they have Raiden. And she's just watching him. They climb up to the roof ledge. And Diloff yells, go! And a bunch of Dakor monks just absolutely jump out of nowhere and start climbing the wall. Which I don't know why they bothered talking to him in the first place. If they're able to climb walls, why not just do that in the first place? I don't really get why you'd sit there and wait and start talking about like, oh, let's make a deal if you can literally climb walls and just get in through the roof. And then it cuts back to Hrathen, and he's watching, just realizes like, hold on a second, what is happening? The Dakor monks come back down with the princess, and he's like, oh, they were getting her. And then Dilaf commandeers his Sion, and Dilaf is like, Sion, I wish to speak with King Eventio. And then Eventio is like, who's calling me in the middle of the night, bro? Who is this? And then Dilaf is like, oh, I have your daughter, by the way. Dilaf, graduate of the Dakor Monastery. And Eventio's like, merciful Domi. And Dilaf's like, oh, I thought you had converted. What the heck? How are you using those slurs? This is a slur now. And then, what is it? And Dilaf basically just demands a formal surrender. He's like, 1 hour from now, we're going to be at Teod. And if you don't have all your soldiers ready on your ships, I'm going to kill the girl. And he's like, okay. And then Dilaf is like, 1 hour. And then he swipes away and he's like, you're not actually going to do that. You're just going to kill all the Teods as well. And Dilaf is like, oh, no, I'm just going to kill their king, then burn their ships with the sailors on them. Everyone else is going to do the executions, but I'm not going to do it. Mm-hmm. And that way, Warren can just land his armies on the shore and, just start killing people.
Yeah, as he should.
As he should. Right. And then Hrathen just starts having, like, a back and forth with him about, like, oh, you're going to slaughter kingdoms to, like, feed your paranoia. Like, what happened to make you hate Elantris so much, dude? And Dilaf is just arguing with him about, like, I'm going to kill you too if you don't shut up. Like, I can do whatever I want. And he's just absolutely balls to the wall insane. And then Raiden starts tweaking out a little bit. He's still special, so he can't, like, do anything. And then Dilaf's like, oh, I forgot about you. And then just slams a blade through Raiden's stomach. And Raiden just goes off into the wild unknown, I guess. After there was no longer pain, there was no longer self, there was nothing. And he just drops. And Sereni starts screaming and crying because he's just twitching on the ground. And he starts doing like a Hoed mantra. And Dilaf is like, oh, bring her and the others and gather them in this town and take them into Elantris. And and he basically just tells them, when you have them all in one place, bodies Elantrians and future Elantrians, say the purification rites, then burn them all. And the warrior's like, yes, my graduate, and then runs. And Dilaf says, come, Hrathen, you will accompany me to Teod. And then
Racing goes, oh, all
right. And he takes him off on his little mandate. Well, the soldiers carry out the mandate. That was a bar. Wait a second. Yeah, Dilaf just pretty much orders everyone to get piled in the middle of Elantris and burned, and then he leaves.
You kill all of them. Me and him are going to go have a date and have a picnic, and I'm going to kick my feet up.
It's like that scene from Scary Movie where the guy in the courtroom, he like stands up and he says something about like, oh, I think we should come together as one or whatever in these trying times. And he's like, silence. You should hold your tongue. And the lady stands up and she's like, I have much experience with this thing of holding your tongue or whatever, which I could help him with in a closet alone, just us.
You love that scene.
She's like, or y'all can watch. I don't give a fuck. Mm-hmm. I love that one.
It's a really good scene.
I haven't seen that Scary Movie in forever. I think that's 3.
I don't know. It's one of them. I get all of them mixed in my head.
Yeah, there's a new one coming out. I'm hoping it's good.
Well, yeah, I'm excited for it because it's been a long time since we've had parody movies like that.
Yeah, it's been a minute.
Yeah,
it looks like it's gonna do pretty well. I think it has like the second best opening of the series so far.
Yeah,
so they might make more or try making other parody movies if it does really well. Yeah, and then Chapter 60, Gaudon's sitting there, and he runs up to Raiden and realizes, like, oh, he's cooked. He was just sitting there watching while all that was happening, and him and Creta.
Chair watching.
by the time they had dipped, him and Kryder were the last two conscious Elantrians. So I guess all Dilaf's dudes already swept through and started beating people up. It cuts to Lukel, and he's just watching everybody be like pretty much rounded up. King gets knocked out, and they take all the kids too. Aiden is just walking around counting 357, 358, 359. And Luke was just watching all the bodies and stuff piling up on the sides of the street. And he's like, oh, these dudes aren't here to like take over or anything. They just want to kill everyone. They don't want like townspeople left to witness it or anything. They're just here to make sure people die. They pull up next to Hrathen and Dilaf, and they stand in a circle. There's 50 monks there's 50 of them in the circle. All the Dakhor, Sereni, and Hrathen with one solitary monk in the center. The Dakhor raise their hands. The men on either side of Hrathen place a hand on his shoulder, and everyone starts chanting. The bone inscriptions beneath their skin shining. There was a jarring sensation. Cave vanished around them. They reappeared in an unfamiliar city. They had arrived in Teod. So they can just teleport now. That's a thing they can do, by the way.
Mm-hmm. It's the magic of the cuck chair. They
Yeah,
can teleport
the
anywhere to start
chair.
watching.
Dude, when my wife's boyfriend tucks me in for bed, but I low-key part of DS under my pillow.
I was like, what does DS stand for? I'm like, oh, Nintendo DS. Gotcha. I thought it was some acronym for like DL, but instead it was DS. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
Sounds sexual.
Ooh.
Yeah, I got that.
Okay, well, you didn't laugh nearly hard enough.
You didn't raffle nearly hard enough, bro.
Yeah, you didn't XD nearly hard enough.
TSPMO, bro.
TSPMO.
No.
And Hrathen notices that, wait a second, we're in a circle still, but the guy in the center is gone. Off. And then he like realizes, the guy in the center is just fuel. He's been burned away as a sacrifice. So they get transportation, instantaneous transportation. They can teleport in exchange for burning someone alive, I guess. Or just vaporizing them. Seems like a pretty fair trade.
They vape and then they teleport. These guys stick.
If the U.S. government had this technology, they'd use it.
And the best part is there's no evidence afterwards because you burn them.
Yeah. What are they going to do? Tell someone? They're vaporized. There's nothing left. And then they just pick Hrathen up like a sack of flour and start carrying him up across the rooftops and stuff. And he's like, what the heck? These dudes are like unnaturally strong. He just picked me up and I'm like a big guy. And they just start running across the rooftops. Sereni's looking extremely mad.
Everyone's just looking at this chapter. Everyone's just watching.
Yeah, everyone's just watching. And Hrathen, it's funny that he's sitting there, he's watching her while they're being like carried around. And he's like, she probably still blames me, huh? She doesn't realize, like, I don't really have anything to do with this. She's still mad at me.
As all this is going on, dang, she's probably mad at me, huh?
Yeah. It's like a funny line of thought. You're being carried across the rooftops in the second city that's going to, burn with all its inhabitants by these, like, demonic teleporting warrior monk people.
And you're just like,
and you're just like,
this what we
she probably still hates me, huh? I feel like you're a little past that, buddy.
Writing where it's like, she probably they're right behind me, aren't they?
Like I feel like you're a little past that. You didn't ever stop and think about that, at the beginning of the book once you started being evil.
Yeah, like she's been hating you.
Like this isn't a new development. Why would anything have changed? It's not like you were trying to help her out at any point. Mm-hmm. And then they like pull up and stop. And there's a fleet of ships pulling into Teod's enormous bay. And Tilhoff is like, we are early. We will wait. And then he squats down, which is, I imagine these guys as like the Wendigos from Until Dawn, kind of. Just like super like inhuman, gangly, but with like all kinds of their skin being like stretched out by weird bone symbols. And so the image of him just being like, all right, we're going to wait. And like squatting down on the rooftop is just really funny to me. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts back to Galadon, and he's just watching the city pretty much burn. And he's like, oh, this is awful. Like, I don't even want to look at this because it's just fire and smoke. And is that blood everywhere? Come on, man. He's kind of hyping himself to go up and do something. And they pick Raiden up and they pull him up to the pond, or they're trying to like get ready to pull him up to the pond. And they sneak into Elantris with him. And I think they're just trying to bring him to the... I'm like missing a section of the book here for some reason. Yeah, he just motions to Karada. They pick Raiden up, and they're just going to pull him through Elantris to the pond and dump him in to help him escape the Hoyod, I guess. And then it cuts to Lukul, and he's watching all these bodies being like tossed into a pile and stuff. And he's got the whole family. He's got all the kids and stuff. Aiden's just standing there mumbling numbers still. And then he looks around and he's like, wait a second, who's that guy in the back? Is that Shuden? And then Shuden, I'm surprised Shuden didn't just like charm all the demon monsters into loving him. And like just getting, taking his shirt off. And then they're like, oh, Shuden, we were going to kill this guy?
How could we kill him?
How could we?
He's sexy. It's like destroying a piece of art.
Yeah, they're like, oh, we're so sorry. Were these your homies? I couldn't believe it. Please, Shuden, give us a chance.
So it's my bad. You should talk to me about that, like later.
And then Shuden's doing his fancy warrior dance. And then Lukul like looks around. He's like, wait a second, Shuden's gonna fight. I gotta fight too. And so he looks around, grabs a table leg. And then it goes back to Raiden, and he's basically just unaware of everything. Time is nothing to him. He's just bobbing along, being carried, thinking about like people's faces and stuff. And then it cuts back to Freythin, and I like how Dilaf is just trauma dumping on him now. And he's like, I often wish they just let her die. And Freythin's like, what? What is this? And Dilaf's like, if only they had let her die. And he's just staring off the rooftop, watching the ships. Things you do when you're like a demon creature. For some reason, this has like Final Fantasy vibes.
Yeah.
And Hayden's just like, in a couple more years, this dude will be like completely insane. Like, he's already unstable, but like, give it a couple years and he will be gone. Mm-hmm. And Dilaf's like, I was already 50 years old back then, Hayden. Did you know that? I'm nearly 70, though I don't look older than 20. She thought I was the most handsome man she'd ever seen. And Hayden's like, okay, like, what is this? Why are you telling me this? Dilaf just keeps trauma dumping. He had like a sick wife, and so he took her to Elantris, and he's like, I knew it was pagan, I knew it was blasphemous, but I'd been at Dakhor and I couldn't even like do anything about it, so I didn't have anywhere else to take her. So I took her to Elantris. He turns to Wraith and he's like, they changed her. They said the spell went wrong, but I know the truth. They knew me. They knew I was part of the Dakhor, and they hated me. And so they took his wife, and then they, quote unquote, healed her, but her skin turned black, her hair fell out, and she began to die. She started screaming at the night, yelling that the pain was eating her from the inside, and then she threw herself off the city wall. And Dilaf just kind of goes into his emo mode, and he's like, I found her at the bottom, still alive, and I burned her, and she never stopped screaming. She screams still, I can hear her, and she will scream until Elantris is gone. Which I feel like that's a pretty awful thing to have happen, but also, like...
It does kind of just sound like she got turned into an Elantrian, but like the disfigured kind of one.
Yeah, and like it sounds like she just got the Hoed. Mm-hmm. Her skin turned black, her hair fell out, and then she started to die. Like, that does just kind of sound like the Hoed, which makes it like weird that Dilaf has not he was 50 or 40 back then or something.
And he hasn't like put together, hey, wow, these guys are exactly like my wife. That's kind of weird.
Like the guy he was torturing, like at no point was he like, wait a second.
I'm burning this guy alive after he's screaming out in pain for a long time.
And he doesn't have any hair, and his skin is super black.
Can't remember what this reminds me of.
What is this?
All I remember is my wife being disfigured and me being really mad about it.
Yeah, like it's sad, and it gives him a good reason for being the way that he is, but also like
it also makes him seem kind of really dumb.
It does make him kind of seem kind of stupid because like you're telling me you've hated them for this long, and you never put that together like even once.
Yeah, it's like how are you gonna be the expert on hating Elantrians, but not realize that your wife was in fact an Elantrian?
To be fair, he is also like insane. So that
yes, clinically so.
He's insane.
Hey, you can tell by what you're saying. I mean, he says, I burned her. She never stopped screaming. She screams still. I can hear her. So he's probably not thinking very rationally about it.
No, I actually think that's really normal. And that happens to everyone.
Yeah. I mean, I can hear my dead screaming wife right now, too. That's just...
As we all do.
We can all hear our dead screaming. Maybe the real dead screaming wife was the friends he made along the way.
Yeah, you see, that's why we gotta bring back, polygamy, so that way you can have multiple.
Exactly.
For when one of them dies and starts screaming forever.
And then if you kill enough of them, they'll start like harmonizing in your head.
Yeah, you think if you get enough of them, you can make them start singing All Star? Like,
yeah, they start recreating like Queen or something in your head. Galileo, Galileo. You're like,
it isn't so bad actually. Maybe
I
do like the screams of my dying wives.
I don't even need to pay for Spotify. I just tell my dead screaming wives what song to play, and they do their best impression.
Yeah, and then you just gotta kill one more for like the dead wife rapped.
Yeah.
For all the music you listen to.
Like, oh, I need an extra bass note. You gotta die tonight. I'm sorry. We're missing.
Candace, I'm sorry.
We need another tenor up there. I can't.
No, I don't think it's up there. I think it's down there.
Oh yeah, down there. I mean, tenor's kind of in the middle.
No, I meant like.
Oh yeah, well, yeah, that too. I was thinking you were saying like tenor was like down there on the scale. Mm-hmm. So Dilov gets his little evil villain backstory that is sad, but it kind of just makes him go from like an evil genius to like clinically insane dude who just does not think anything through, which I feel like is kind of a weird disconnect. He was either extremely smart and has been running everything from the beginning and he knows exactly what he's doing, or he's like balls to the walls crazy and isn't able to like put together simple things. Like that's one of my biggest problems with the book. A lot of the plot like relies on people not putting together extremely simple things that you should be able to put together. Like there are just correlations that you should be able to be like, oh, this makes sense. And it's just super easy for like anyone to do, and they just don't because they're not very smart. Except when they're really, really smart for some reason.
Yeah.
The only one who's like semi-believable is Wraitha. All the other ones are just like, they're really smart, except they're not really smart.
Yeah, like they act smart, but in actuality, they're just making wild accusations and guesses that just happen to be correct.
Yeah.
Like they are simply just lucky. They're not actually smart.
He's saying we should make insane leaps in interpreting his mundane statements. Mm-hmm. And then it cuts back to Galadon, and they lay Raiden down by the pool, and they just kind of sit there and wait for a second before they dump him into oblivion. And then it cuts over to Lukel, and there's just a massive pile now of bodies. They went through the entire city getting all the Elantrians and just tossing them into a real big, like, pyre pretty much. It reminds me of those pictures I've seen of like Nazi camps and stuff when they were done killing people and there was just the huge piles of like bodies. Or even like kind of makes me wonder if this scene was inspired by like Dune. And then the first Dune when they're done with the killing all the what's Paul's people, the Atreides, and there's all the things with them like burning just the bodies and stuff. And then Luke was watching them, and he realized like, wait a second, they aren't all dead. In fact, like most of them aren't. They're all just twitching, I feel like that makes it worse. Not only is it a pile of dead bodies that's about to be burned, they're all like twitching and stuff too. They aren't fully dead. Aiden starts whispering 27 steps to the bodies, and Luke was like, what? And then a soldier yells for him to get back, but Aiden just keeps walking away, and a soldier slashes Aiden with a sword, and Aiden just keeps walking anyway. No blood comes out, and the soldier's like, what? What is this? And then Aiden approaches the pile of Elantrians and flops down among them and then starts lying still. And his whole secret about why he's special or whatever is that he is an Elantrian. And I think that is an awful reveal and a not well-written character, which Brandon also agrees on. So, yeah, I like making him autistic and having like the most Hollywood portrayal of autism be like he mumbles numbers and stuff.
Yeah.
And yeah, it's the most like stupid reason to have that in the book. It's just, oh, he's an Elantrian. Even though none of the other Elantrians do that.
Yeah. Like it, because normally he's really good about his reveals, but I mean, to be fair, it is his first book.
Yeah.
This is the one that like you hear it and you're like, okay. It doesn't add context or like you're like, oh, why didn't I think of that? Because there's no reason why you'd be like, oh yes, autistic, so that's Elantris.
Yeah, it doesn't really make a whole lot of sense. It doesn't need to be there. And I mean, Brandon himself has basically called all that out and been like, yeah, if I wrote the book now, I would not have any of that in. And if I did, I'd have like I'd do it better because it just wasn't great. So even he realizes that like, yeah, I don't know what I was thinking. I don't know why I did that. And he cuts over to Dilaf, and he's just switched back into evil mode. And he's like, I remember you, Wraithen. I remember you as a boy. Ooh, you were frightened. You ran away from us, and I watched you go. You were too weak. And Wraithen's like, what? You were still there? What the heck? And Dilaf's like, oh yeah, I was already an old guy by that point, bro. I was like 50. I remember you as a kid. That's got to be real weird to experience.
Remember me? I changed your diapers.
Yeah, he's like,
remember me? I jerked you off at supersonic speed.
I mean, Dilaf literally says, I was graduate by then, Wraithen. Do you remember me? And Wraithen like has a flashback where he's like, he remembers evil eyes in the body of an unmerciful man, chants, fires, screams, and a face hanging above him with the same eyes. And Wraithen goes, you! He goes, you remember. And Wraithen goes, I remember.
You remember now that I told you. Now you remember.
Like, this is some real Marvel writing right here.
Yeah, because it's like, really, now you remember after he told you.
Yeah, now you remember?
It's like, how convenient.
At no point. You looked into this dude's eyes and went, wait a second.
Because, like, I mean, I could be wrong. I don't remember any, like, mentioning of his eyes previously. And,
I mean, like they always talk about how crazy his eyes look and stuff. Crazy. But there's nothing about, like, him even recognizing his eyes or anything.
Yeah, but, like, and also that's different than saying that his eyes looked menacing in the same way. Like, there's not, like, really a connection.
It's just weird that all of a sudden now he's, like, looking at like, it's a real... Would you recognize Clark Kent if he, didn't have his glasses on moment?
And also he didn't age.
Yeah. Yeah, because if he, like, still looks the same, then...
Then, like, I feel like it should be a lot easier to identify him if he looks the same because he doesn't age. Because he still looks like he's 20.
Yeah.
Unless he's looking like different 20-year-olds, which would be even weirder.
Yeah. And Raisin's like, oh, well, you were the one that convinced me to leave. You, like, demanded that one of your monks use your magic and send you to Wyrm's palace. And the monk just, like, complied and, got vaporized to transport you a distance that would have taken you, like, 15 minutes to go. And, which, honestly, yeah, I'd give up and leave at that point, too. I'd be like, what is wrong with these people? I'm out of here.
I gotta kill this dude so I can get to Taco Bell.
This is just medieval Taylor Swift, bro.
It's DoorDash, except you have to vaporize 2 people, one to go there, one to go back.
It's Taylor Swift with her private jet that emits
Private jet that vaporizes people.
I mean, how much of a carbon footprint it has, may as well. And Dilaf is like, absolute obedience is required, Raythan. Occasional tests and examples bring loyalty from the rest, which is a real nice way to live your life and look at things. Real like Nazi mentality there, I guess. And then Dilaf gets up and he's like, we've been successful. They're docked. All right. One thing remaining, the death of King Eventio. And then it cuts to Raiden, and Raiden's having a vision of like Aeon Reo, a large square with 4 circles just shimmering through his pain, and he's floating in a white eternity, and his mind's trying to discard the image. Something from a previous existence, unimportant and forgotten. He didn't need it anymore. And then when he tried to remove that image, another one sprang up. Elantris, 4 walls forming a square. Wait a second. That's exactly like the Aeon. Hold on a sec. A large square with 4 circles around it, lines connecting them to the center. It's just like Elantris with its 4 walls forming a square and the 4 outer cities around it and the roads leading into Elantris. Hold on a second. Wait, he's making connections.
But then there was the earthquake that changed it. You know, the giant earthquake that ruined the crops. And then they're like, oh, we have to pay our workers? No.
Yeah. No, we can't do that. And then
like, I remember.
It cuts to Lucal as he's watching while they're pouring oil over everyone. They're really just oiling up these bodies, bro.
It's like, now oil them, boys.
And then and he's just like, oh, we're next. And then it cuts to King Eventio, and he's watching as Dilaf approaches, and the monk is ready to just kill him. Raythan is walking beside Dilaf, thinking about necessity and duty. Men would die, but their loss would not be meaningless. I mean, the entire feudal empire would grow stronger for, murdering all these people. The hearts of men would increase in faith. I mean, like, come on. Like, you convert people for political reasons, but, like, if you kill people, that truly, like, brings you power,
No, you don't understand. I had to do a genocide. It was important.
Yeah, the only way to really convert people is genocide, And I like that there's this line, even as he rationalized, his stomach grew sick. I was sent to save these people, not to slaughter them. I like that Raythan still has like a consciousness despite and because of all the things that he does. And he still like recognizes that he's rationalizing it all in his head.
Yeah, which is good. And I appreciate that.
Yeah, I like the human elements of Raythan's character. It's a good foil for Dilaf's like.
Yeah, because they have the same goals, but one of them rationalizes it. The other one's like, no, I shouldn't do that.
Yeah. And I mean, not even like rationalizing. Like Dilaf just fully believes all this stuff is like the only correct way, whereas Raythan's like, I should believe that, but I don't.
No, I have to be good. We shouldn't kill people, actually.
And then Raythan looks over at Dilaf, and Dilaf's like, I have waited for this. And he's like, you mean Tiod? And then he realizes, wait a second. Dilaf's like, I'm about to kill Serene. He's got a knife pressed up against her back. And Dilaf goes on a little monologue about, like, you, princess, are a disease. And starts talking about how much he hates her and like, oh, you were the reason they forgot the loathing for Elantris. You associated with the unholy ones and descended to their level. Oh, blah, blah, blah. I hate you so much. I considered killing your father first and making you watch, but now I'm going to make him watch you die instead. Blah, ha, ha, ha.
I love it when people watch. Oh, I get off on it. He does it for me.
He's like, he's going to be in the cuck chair.
I'm going to put him in the cup chair and have him watch. And then I'm going to go,
Yeah. And then it cuts back to Raiden. And Raiden is just struggling with consciousness as pain just keeps washing over him. And then he realizes, wait a second, I'm being pulled towards something round and blue. The pool. No, not the pool. Not the pool. And then Raiden suddenly screams as he's like, wait a second, they can't kill me yet. I already have the answer. And then Galadon is extremely surprised that his, comatose friend is screaming. So he drops him and he stumbles and falls directly into the pool. Which that had the opposite effect of what you were trying.
Hate it when I drop my friend and accidentally stumble forward and drop him into something.
Yeah, such a shame.
Happens to the best of us.
In chapter 61, Hrathen is watching the dagger start slicing Serene's neck, and he's watching Dilaf just enjoying this while King Aventio watches. And he starts thinking about it, and he's like, dude, this isn't right. And then he screams and just punches Dilaf right in the face. And Dilaf is like, what? What is this? And then turns around, stabs Hrathen. And it bounces off Hrathen's armor, but Dilaf is like, that armor's just for show. What? I thought that stuff was like goofy. Why did the knife not just kill you? And Hrathen is like, oh, you should know by now, Dilaf. And punches him again and smashes his face. And then he's like, nothing I do is just for show. And that's his epic Marvel movie moment. Mm-hmm. And then he pulls the monk's sword free, and he's like, come on, Aventio, do something. Like, I can't help you out much, but I'll try and take care of this guy, but you gotta do everything else. He grabs Serene, pulls her way through the alleyway, and it cuts away. Back to Hrathen. Hrathen is now in the pool, and he starts hearing like a thing in the pool, or I guess the pool itself is the thing, and he starts talking to him about like release.
Release!
And he's like, oh, come on, you can finally give up and let go. What movie is it? It reminds me so strongly of something where it reminds me of Will of Ascension, that's why. Because, same thing. Magic pool.
Yeah, except the difference in this one is it's encouraging you to give up as opposed to the other one, which is encouraging you to take the power.
Yeah. The other one was encouraging that because it was ruin. And you weren't, supposed to take you were supposed to take the power, but ruin wanted you to, release the power.
Ruin's like, no, don't take the power.
Don't take the power.
Terrible. You should release it. That'd be the good thing to do.
And then it cuts back to all the Elantrians being just doused in oil and Shuden doing his crazy dance. And then Shuden suddenly just goes God mode. And his dance turns into him just beating the absolute crap out of one of the demons. I like the line that the demon's head spun around completely as his reinforced neck snapped, his eyes bulged. And Shuden's doing this all with his eyes closed. And Luke was like, what? I'm not sure, but there's a slight glow following him. What the heck? So I guess Shuden has some sort of magic power. Or something. A magic dance battle power, I guess. Which never gets explained any farther, but Brandon has said that the different areas all have their own magic power, which should be pretty apparent judging from Fjorden having their Dakor monks and stuff, Elantris having Elantrians and stuff. The one guy that Hrathen gets potions from, making magic potions that turn you into an Elantrian. Shuden has his magic dance move stuff. There's a couple different kinds of magic that have been showcased throughout the book. And then Luke was like, oh, this is my time to shine. And then he goes and tries to wax a guy, but it doesn't really do a whole lot. And then he grabs a sword and he's like, I wish I knew how to use this thing. And it cuts back to Hrathen, and Hrathen is just absolutely holding them off. Hrathen is having his Age of Ultron, they're at that weird temple thingy with Vision's bodies standoff, where there's the waves of Ultrons coming at them and they're just yeeting them. And then there's a little fight where he's just killing a bunch of the Dock Horrors, and then And my thing says, there are cool many, yeah.
Cool many.
Yeah. And then Serena's like, there are too many, you can't fight them all. And he's like, oh, she's right. We gotta leave. And Serena pulls him away, and they start running away, and it cuts back to Raiden, and he just absolutely bursts from the water, and Geldon and Coretta are like, what the? You're supposed to be dead, bro. We just like tossed you in the pool. And Raiden feels all the like liquid streaming off him, and he's like, oh, this isn't water, it's something thicker. Ooh. The nut pool. Ooh. It cuts back to Lukel and Shuden, and their attack pretty much just gets absolutely cooked. A bunch of Serena's fencers try to like help out, and Lukel's like, oh yeah, we might actually do this. And then, yeah, they just get absolutely cooked. Eshin gets stabbed. Shuden gets stabbed. Lukel takes a long gash on the thigh and then
gets stabbed.
And then it cuts back to Raiden, and Raiden gets stabbed.
I mean, like, it is understandable. Like, these guys, their whole thing is that they are like trained combat assassins. Like, I'd be surprised if they weren't winning.
Yeah. Like, I think it's mostly for a second they were just surprised, like, Shuden having...
Wow, wait, we can do this.
Magic.
They're stabbing me. They jump at me.
Their thought process was probably like, what, these guys are fighting back? Why would they do that?
Why would they do that? Don't they know that we're just going to jump on them?
Do they not see our, like, evil demon warrior monk, like, skin symbols and stuff? Why would they possibly think they could win? They're just so not used to people fighting back that they're like, this is weird.
Dang, well, guess we
gotta kill him now. And so they started stabbing people. And it cuts to Raiden, and he's just running down the mountain. Geldon's like, bro, calm down. Like, you were just almost dead or something. Where are you going? And then it cuts back to Serena. A lot of cuts now. And they're having a real, we're hiding together in the closet moment. They're hiding in a house, and Raiden's like, let's go. And they climb out, and they're peeking out into the room, basically just trying to hide. And Serena's like, you should probably take the metal off. You know, if you're walking around wearing bright red armor, it's kind of hard to hide. And he tosses it all off, takes it all off. And then he keeps taking stuff off. And she's like, oh, okay, now we're getting somewhere. She's like, oh, you know, the armor was heavy, but like, the clothes too, like, it's just, everyone's gonna recognize you. I think you just need to take it all off. Come on.
You just gotta be naked.
It's
the only way. You don't understand.
I honestly, they're gonna recognize me in my clothes too. I need to take mine off.
We just all gotta be naked right now.
Right now. Dilov just walks in and they're both naked, and he's like, I'll leave you guys alone for a minute.
Dilov's just like, oh, without me.
Without me. He just starts crying. He's like, I see how it is.
I thought I was
special.
I thought it meant something to you.
And then Hrathen has this nice emo moment. That's like 90% of Hrathen. But Serena's like, you've been walking around this heavy armor for months? Wasn't that difficult? And Hrathen's like, the burden of my calling. A calling I no longer deserve. And he drops the armor.
Will be the night that I will fall for you.
The night will be the night that I fall for you. And he drops pretty much everything. Oh yeah, he does take off his shirt. And it says he stood bare-chested, wearing only a pair of thin knee-length trousers and a long sleeve-like band of cloth around his right arm. And Serena's like, why does he have a covered arm? And she goes, yeah. And she gets, yeah, she's like, oh, I need to look just like you. And then she starts taking off her clothes.
Also bare-chested? Wait, hold on.
Yeah. And then I like how she notices the covered arm. She's like, why does he have a covered arm? Is this like an important piece of the Derethi priest garb? And then she's like, oh, we got other more important questions. Like, why did you do it, Hrathen? Why did you turn against your own people? And he's like, oh, Dilov's actions are evil. She's like, but aren't you guys the same, like, religion, the same faith? And he's like, oh no, my faith is in Jedeth, the God who wants the devotion of men. A massacre does not serve him. She's She's like, Wern seems to think differently. And he just does not respond to that. And then he's just like, let's go. And then it cuts back to Raiden. And to him, everything's just burning because he's basically almost dead at this point. And then it cuts back to Lukel. Raiden isn't really doing anything. He's kind of just running. And then there's like a weird line about he returned from the void to perform a single task. When he was finished, the white nothingness would suck him down into its oblivion again. He's going to get his soul sucked as soon as he's done.
Dang. It should have been me, not him. It should have been me.
And it cuts back to Lukel, and he's just watching all these Elantrians get lit up, and the oil-soaked bodies burst into flame, and the demon men start going to kill all the other people who are just sitting there watching. It cuts back to Karada, and she's like, what is he doing? And Gallon's like, I don't know, bro. I don't know what we're doing. And then it cuts away from that, and Raiden hears like some men approaching, but he doesn't really pay attention to it and just continues to run. Galadon and Karada like throw themselves at the soldier to stop the soldiers from following him. And he doesn't even acknowledge that, like, oh yeah, they're like unarmed, throwing themselves against these soldiers to like give me time. They're definitely dead. They're cooked. So he just keeps running. And then a hand grabs him and he almost falls to the ground, but he just keeps running. And then it cuts back to or no, it just keeps going. And where is it? He turns around, sees a dude just absolutely separate Karada's head from her body. Galadon gets a pair of swords in the stomach, and the soldiers turn and like point at Raiden. He's like, all right, I got to start drawing. And he draws a big old line in the dirt, and then it cuts away from him. He's really like, his friends are dying around him, and he's like, it's time to draw.
All right, guys, it's time for my art and craft.
It's time for the arts and craft project. And then light explodes from the ground, bursts along the dirt like a silver river, and then Raiden had drawn. The light enveloped him, but it was more than just light. It was purity. The door washed over him, covering him like a warm liquid, and for the first time in 2 months, the pain went away. And essentially, he like connected the wall with his drawing, and the light like follows the wall, just shooting up from the ground along the road from Kay to Elantris to the other 3 outer cities that had basically just been forgotten since the Riode. And they turn into like weird light pillars. So the whole thing's like a just giant complex for aeons. And that's all it needed was like the chasm line, because the chasm just fucked everything up. And now that he's drawn like a line connecting them, which I feel like
it
kind of makes. What were you gonna say?
This very heavily reminds me of Fullmetal Alchemist.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, like, it is very like Fullmetal Alchemist-y.
Because as soon as he started like seeing the stuff in his head, and then I was like, oh, they're gonna do a Fullmetal Alchemist, aren't they? Yeah. And then he started drawing like they're doing a Fullmetal Alchemist.
And then it's like the city is the Aeon, and it's like oh, you just gotta complete it before. And it's like, oh yeah, super Fullmetal Alchemist.
I know this one. I was there.
I've played these games before.
Yeah, which is funny because like this did come out significantly before it.
Yeah.
However,
no.
Well, no, because
the anime, yeah, but I'm pretty sure the manga ended like a year or two after it. Hold on,
this is important.
I'm trying to remember when. Because the book came out 2009, I think.
Oh, book came out 2005?
Oh, never mind. No, I was wrong. Yeah, the manga didn't even end until 2010.
Yeah. Okay, yeah. So this is very much before.
Yeah, so it would have been close though.
Yeah.
Which also makes it kind of funnier.
I'm pretty sure the Elantris is also like he worked on it for a couple years. So I'm assuming he probably like had this idea.
Yeah. And then Fullmetal Alchemist just stole it.
It is interesting how closely that lines up, though. Like the city being the like battery essentially for the power, and like the
Only difference is that in this one it's a good thing, and the other one it's a very bad thing.
Oh yeah, very bad thing. And there's no like sloth creature trying to finish the line underneath. Whoa, what?
Yeah, or using the shadow of the moon.
Yeah.
To make the new circle.
Yeah, very, very similar though. There are a lot of like Full Metal Alchemist parallels in this book, I feel like.
Mm-hmm. Except I like Full Metal Alchemist.
Oh yeah.
It's the big difference.
I wouldn't be surprised if Brandon watched Full Metal Alchemist after.
And he's like, yo, they stole my shit. They stole my whole flow.
He's probably like, damn, I should have done that instead.
Dang, that was way better. Oh my gosh, this is so much cooler. Why did I just do this?
Cooler.
Yeah, the drawing aeons to make power.
Yeah, it's like super. I don't know why I didn't like recognize the drawing aeons to create stuff before. It's like that's super Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then Radon basically just fixed everything, and he doesn't even like realize that his hair is back, all his wounds are healed and stuff, and he's like silver now. And then his heart starts
like the hedgehog.
Oh. Yeah, he starts traveling back in time.
They all turn into Silver the Hedgehog.
Oh, the ultimate crossover.
The crossover between Silver the Hedgehog and Silver the Hedgehog and Silver the Hedgehog.
I mean, Silver can travel back in time, so technically, that could.
Turns out all Elantrians are actually just furries.
Yeah. And then his heart starts beating in his chest again. The Sheod transformation had finally completed its work. And then Galadon also stands up from being dead and now has... His skin's also... I like how it mentions his skin is a dark metallic silver. He was brown before, so now he gets like dark silver. He gets like iron color.
Yeah, we still gotta have our different skin tones, even if we're all the same.
Yeah. It's a little funny.
We still have to have differences so that way we know how to be racist.
Yeah. Gotta make sure. And then Lucas was watching everyone being consumed by fuel, and then all of a sudden the thing lights up and he's like, what is happening? And all the dead bodies just like start coming back to life. Which that's gotta be trauma. You just watched a bunch of people die, and then all of a sudden like everything lights up and they start like sitting up and be like, where are we? The two demon priests, everyone else is like stunned, so two of them start dashing and trying to kill all the Elantrians, and a blast of power just absolutely destroys the demon priest. Like it says, a flash power shot across the courtyard and struck the monk in the chest, immolating the creature in a puff of energy.
Yeah, it's
nice.
Just the hydrogen bomb versus coffee baby.
Yeah, immolating is an interesting word. I don't think I've heard that word used anywhere else. Lugo's like, what was that? What is happening?
Yeah, because I believe emulate means that like it goes so fast through that it doesn't even pass through all the phases. Like when it's burning, it just goes straight to the end.
Dang.
Where it's just, I believe that's what it means.
I'll trust you on that.
Like it's like flash freezing, but instead for heat.
Yeah, because it says that the monk disappears and there's only like a faint like smell of burning flesh. So I'm assuming that's probably correct. Raiden is just standing there with his arm out, doing his a Marvel movie, dun 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 dun.
Yeah, doing his aura farming.
Just aura farming, and then the other demon priest is just like, "Oh yeah, I got to take this guy down." He charges at him, and then Raiden sketches something in the air, and then where is it? The Aeon for power, and he looks
Aeon for penis inversion.
He does even more aura farming, where he starts making the character for Aeon Da, the Aeon for power, and he looks through the symbol at the Drethi monk, and he's like, "You gonna come at me, bro? You gonna come charge me?" And the Drethi monk's like, I think I'm good. And Raiden's like, "Oh yeah."
Explode my friend, disappear instead.
Yeah, and so Raiden's like, "All right, you're not gonna fight me? Like, take your men and go. Come on, get out of here." And then the dude turns and runs away, and Raiden finishes his aura farming. Or actually, I guess he continues aura farming. He's like, people of Arlon, Elantris is restored. And then Lukel's like, how totally unexpected. And then faints from loss of blood, which is the most real response in this entire book. Bro is the only human. He's just like, oh, this is too much. I'm out of here. And then it cuts to Dilloff. And Dilloff, like, prods his shattered nose. He's like, bro, Raiden broke my nose. He just smashed that with his armor. And then Dilloff has his evil villain find them moment. The voice of his dead wife calling in his ears, begging for revenge. She would have it. And then it cuts to chapter 62, and it's Serene and Raiden wandering around. And then Rathan's basically giving her the lowdown, like, oh, this is gonna happen, this is gonna happen, and Serena's like, oh, you're talking like Teod's gonna, fall apart. And Rathan's like, bro, you gotta leave. Like, he's this dude's obsessed. He's crazy. If you stay in Teod, he's gonna stay here. If you leave, he might follow you and like save him. And Serena's like, this dude's right. He's probably on to something. And then she's kind of thinking about it, and she's like, why does he care for me? We were like enemies. You didn't really answer my question. You turned against your religion. Why? And Rathan's like, I don't know. I've followed Shu'Dareth since I was a child. The structure and formality of it have always called to me. I joined the priesthood. I thought I had faith, but the thing I grew to believe was not Shu'Dareth. And I like this perspective from Rathan, where like the religion itself calls to him, and it's something that he joins and like thinks he has faith in. That turns out that the thing that he grows to believe is not the religion itself, but like a lot of the like virtues and values of it. I think with a lot of real world religions too, it is very like the people in it are cool, or like the things they teach are interesting and like good things to learn, but then the religion itself is not something that's good. Like, especially for the Mormon church, like they teach you a lot of things. So I'm like, yeah, these are typically things you would want to teach people to help them be better people.
Yeah, but not all of it.
But not all of it. And the overall like religion of it all is something that I strongly disagree with. And like the way the, hierarchies work and the way people act about it.
Yeah.
It's very like separate the art from the artist kind of.
Separate the art from the artist when referring to Joseph Smith is kind of a crazy way to say it.
And then she's like, oh, do you believe in Shu-Korath? And he's like, nah, that's... I don't believe in like the Dorethi's teaching. My problem is with like Wern, not like God. And then Rathan's like, oh, why am I telling her this? I'm supposed to be like the stoic evil man.
I'm supposed to be the cool aura farmer. Why am I being so beta?
And then he starts thinking about how he convinced himself that the Republic's fall was a necessary tragedy. And now he's like, you know what? I'm done like rationalizing everything. I caused all that blood and death. I am a traitor. I betrayed Shu'Dareth. And I'm not going to let it happen again. And then he kind of thinks about it, and he feels like he's got a weight off his shoulders now for like... I like Rathan's character a lot because he's the only character who like things happen and he actually like humanly like takes it in and then tries to like rationalize with himself. And then at the end of the day, he's like, you know what? I can't just stand aside and like put that blame elsewhere. I need to actually expose myself to the guilt of all this and actually like work through it and try to do better. And he's the only character that does that. All the other ones are just like, yeah, stuff's happening. Not my fault. Serena's just like, they're just too stupid. Mm-hmm. They just don't get it. And Rathan's like, that's not bad. It's a great thing, actually, when you think about it. Rathan's the only one who's like, maybe I should like work through this in a healthy way and like stop trying to shovel my problems down. Mm-hmm. And then he thinks about this, and then he feels a stab of pain in his chest, and he's like, what the heck? And then he turns around, and he notices that a dude had just walked up and stabbed him, and it's one of the Fjordal priests. And he's like, how did this dude find me? What the heck? And he slumps down against the wall, and the guy smiles at him and then disappears. And Hrathen, I don't really like this part. As the darkness closed in, Hrathen discarded all questions. Instead, his view and consciousness were filled with Serene's worried face, the woman who had destroyed him. Because of her, he had finally rejected the lies he had believed all of his life. She would never know that he had come to love her. I don't like that part.
Yeah, that kind of reframes it in a weird, gross way.
Yeah, it makes a lot of his like development through the book very like not icky necessarily, but like I really never got like the he likes her kind of vibe.
Yeah, also when I read it, I didn't really feel like that was like I felt like he thought that was the case. I didn't feel like that was actually the case.
Yeah,
I felt like it was just kind of a misattribution where he's like, oh, this person who challenges me mentally, it must be love and it can't be anything else.
This person challenged me mentally and stood up for like ideals that made me rethink mine. I mean, that must mean I love them, right? Because I'm changing and growing as a person. This must be love. And it's
no, I think he just hasn't had enough good platonic experiences in order to recognize that you could just have, you can just be good friends.
I do understand it though. Like it is easy to like associate that kind of like growth and development and be like, oh, well, this person came into my life at that exact same time. So they must be like mutual. Mm-hmm. Like this thing happened at the same time this thing happened. They are one and the same, or this is happening because of this. When they can be mutually exclusive, they can happen because of
and like
the other thing. Without
if it was a different character, it wouldn't bother me as much. But he's like the one smart guy who's actually rich and smartly, who like does things for good, smart reasons. And so that kind of bothers me because it's like, nope, actually all the characters are dumb.
It kind of reduces his character to like, oh, well, he was just doing it because he liked her.
Yeah, which is just kind of boring and lame.
Which is also just, I never got that really at any point. Like I could tell he respected her. I could tell he like maybe considered her like, oh, we got the frenemies thing going on. But I was never like, oh, he's got a crush on her. Oh, it's very obvious now that he's interested. And also that being like the last thing he thinks is also kind of like, really? That's going to be the last thought he has before he dies. Mm-hmm. It's kind of, yeah. I don't really like that line. I feel like that's character assassination right there.
Yeah.
I don't know if Brandon said anything about that part specifically. I'd have to look it up and see if he's been like, oh, yeah, I would redo that now or something.
He does the new anniversary edition and just moves that line. It's the same.
Oh, because honestly, if you removed like that last line, like it...
Yeah, that singular line really makes his character a lot worse.
Yeah, just really one line. And then it cuts to Lukel and he's just kind of... Wait, what?
Jerk.
Oh yeah, and then he's like, "Goodbye, my princess. Jadeth, be merciful to my soul. I only did the best I could." Yeah, if you cut out the blah 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 love of his life, "Goodbye, my princess," and it was just Jadeth, be merciful to my soul. I only did the best I could. I feel like that would be so much better because that reframes it as like him reflecting on everything and finally like accepting that he did all the things he did and he tried to do the best he could. And that I feel like would also make his character so much
like showing that he figured everything out and then attributing it to because you love kind of cheapens it because then it's like
okay, well,
it's like okay, well,
that's not character development. That's
that's just him being.
Which if you just removed like those two lines right there. And you just ended it with the "be merciful to my soul. I only did the best I could." Yeah. That would be so much better of an ending. And then Hrathen just watches, or Serene watches the light fading from Hrathen's eyes, and she's like, don't you dare leave me here alone. And he just doesn't respond. And she turns around as someone starts screaming, and a bunch of bare-chested forms appear from an alleyway. Ooh. What kind of freaky stuff are they going to get up to? She's like, oh, what are they coming at me to? And then it cuts to the guy who killed Hrathen, Fionn, F. John, whatever. It's spelled Fjon. I don't know how to pronounce that. And he's like, haha, you were right, Hrathen. You did give me a new way to serve Jadis Empire, an important one. It's so funny how ironic. This is the guy that Hrathen sent away at the beginning of the book in the ship. Because he was like, I don't like the way you serve Jadith. You need to go somewhere else. Mm-hmm. And he's like, oh, how ironic it is that you like send me away and I just got to kill you myself. How would Wern even like knew that I would find him here? I'll probably never know. Lord Jadith moves in ways beyond the understanding of men. But at least I did my thing. And then with a merry step, F. John went back to his inn and ordered breakfast. What a great line. He's like, this is so ironic. And how did God know that I would find him there? Oh, well, I mean, I did my thing.
I'm hungry.
With a merry step, too. He was just skipping on the street. Oh, la da 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 da.
I love killing my rival.
This is so great. And then it cuts to Raiden healing people. And then Luca's just complaining about not having a scar because he wants aura. And then Hrathen's brooding, watching everybody celebrate, even though pretty much everything's been destroyed. There's tons of people dead. Sereni's gone. And he's like, I don't even know what's going to happen next. And then Ash pulls up, tells him that, the princess is in Teod, by the way. Like, they're under attack over there. And Raiden's like, how did she get over there? What in Domi's name? And then it cuts to Sereni, and she's just backing away, looking for a weapon while these half-naked men start walking up toward her. Ooh. And Dilaf, his face is all stained, his bare torso sweating. Ooh. He's getting ready for... This is like a harem now. And then it cuts back to Hrathen. He climbs to the top of Elantris' wall and jumps off and dies. And that's the end of the book. Mm-hmm. Nah, he doesn't actually die. I totally got you there for a second, though.
Yeah, it's not like I've read the book or anything. Why would I know?
And then he just kind of ignores everyone. He's like, Sion, show me the exact direction. Or he does the Tony Stark thing, where he's like, Jarvis, show me the exact direction Teod's capital is from this point. And then they show him, and he starts creating, like, aeons. And Radon's like, this is going to be easy. I'm just going to go to Teod. And Galadon's like, what do you mean? Like, if you don't know the exact distance, you're just going to be killed. Why would you do this? And then Galadon sort of talks him out of it. And he's like, do you even know how far it is, bro? Like, you can't just be putting down random aeons and, like, just teleporting places if you don't know. And then we get Deus Ex Machina himself. 1,327,042. And Aiden is just standing there.
Yeah, he's got Mr. Autism showing up.
And we get this banger line. His eyes betrayed none of the mental retardation that had erased him from birth.
Does it actually say that?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
What?
To be fair, this was like 2000 and whatever. Like,
I know, that's still a crazy line.
Still a crazy line, though.
Crazy.
I was crazy once. And Aiden's like, I feel like my entire life has been a dream.
Aiden, you're smart now, which means that you're no longer autistic, because that's how that works.
He's like, my mind, I've always been able to figure numbers. And 1,327,042. That's how many steps it is to Teod.
Apparently being unwatching cures your autism.
Also, apparently autism means that you obsessively know how many steps it is to another country, which
is across the ocean and you can't actually measure.
Yeah, because autism or not.
Because, like,
how...
Like, even if you had access to the internet, like...
I still, like, I guess the only thing you could do is, like, measure your footstep and then figure out, oh, like, sailors say it's this far, and if my footstep is this measurement, that means this.
Yeah, it's still not going to be fully
like,
accurate, though. Like, you need satellites for that, which they don't have.
And even then, like, the dude, like, he couldn't talk to people. That was part of it. So how is he, like...
You don't understand. He's just autistic. He can just do that.
Yeah, it is very Deus Ex Machina. What is
Deus Ex Machina?
That's such a wild pronunciation.
Oh, my bad.
Like, I can definitely tell that you learned it from reading.
Yeah. Because nobody ever uses that in real life.
Yeah, Deus Ex Machina.
Okay. And then, and I like how Raiden just draws an Aeon that duplicates the length of the kid's stride. And then Aiden's like, this will take you to the docks. 1,300,000, blah, blah, blah. And then he's like, I'm not sure how I knew that. And then his reasoning is, I went there as a child once. That's how he knows.
Yeah, okay. Sure.
Because when you're sailing across the ocean, you measure everything in, like, your foot stride.
Yeah.
And
you're just counting. You're just 3,000, 3,001, 3,00002.
Yeah.
3,003.
Oh, I missed one. Can we back the ship up a little bit?
Hold on. Wait. Slow down.
Wait. This patch of water looks exacted. Oh.
Dang,
can we start over? Like,
go back to port.
Yeah, it's a little. It does not make a whole lot of sense, and it's a little weird. And then Raiden goes through with it, and he's like, "I hope this works." And then he feels the on power rush through him, and he disappears. And
then he's just dead.
Yeah, the book. He's just never mentioned again in the book.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it turns out it was not that far. It turns out he's now in the middle of the ocean.
Yeah, and Sereni's just sitting there waiting for them to just absolutely slice and dice her, and then all of a sudden the monk's body just gets yeeted and arcs before her and then hits the ground with a thud, and they're all like, what the... And she just stares as Raiden's there, and he just starts absolutely beating the crap out of Dilloff and his cronies, just creating Aeons that shoot fire thingies into the monks and yeet them backwards into buildings and stuff. And then he grabs Sereni and he's like, come on, let's go. And then he tries to, like, teleport them back, but it doesn't really work. And they just kind of fall back to the ground. And Raiden's like, oh, that's right. Like, they get weaker the farther away you go from Elantris. And yeah, so there's no way for them to teleport back. At this point, I was kind of hoping they would die, but unfortunately that didn't happen. Dilloff starts charging after him. All his men are coming after him. Sereni's like, oh, not much of a rescue. Wow, thanks, bro. Real, like, wow, thanks. Okay. And then suddenly a bunch more people come out of nowhere. Galadon and a bunch of others finish their Aeons and just teleport out of nowhere and start throwing spells. It's real Marvel final battle. Lasers popping everywhere. And Dilloff's men are just getting absolutely yeeted. And their bodies are collapsing, being tossed around and ragdolled. And then Dilloff is the only... Like the line, Dilloff was the only one of his men who thought to duck. These guys are just, like, not the smartest, are they?
Yeah, they're absolutely killing machines. However, they're also kind of dumb.
I mean, the reason it gives is, like, oh, they're confidently arrogant in their strength. So they simply just allowed the powerful blast to hit them. Because they're like, oh, it's not going to do anything.
What? Is he going to kill me or something? Ah!
And then Dilloff, it cuts to Dilloff, and his first thought is, fools! And then it's mentioned that every Dark Horror is blessed with special skills and powers, indestructible strength, nearly indestructible bones, but only Dilloff had the power that made him resistant to attacks by the door. Power that required the deaths of 50 men to create. Nice. Mm-hmm. The remaining monks were horribly outnumbered, but they attacked bravely, trying to kill as many of the vile Elantrians as they could. They had been trained well and would die fighting. Dilloff yearned to join them, but he did not. Some thought him mad, but he was not a fool. The screams in his head demanded revenge, and there was still a way left. This dude is just absolute psycho. And then he starts running forward, trying to find the princess. And Raiden's like, just let him go. He can't do any more damage. And Serena's like, bro, that's the way my father went. What are you talking about? You're just going to let him die? And Serena's, yeah, she's tweaking. Raiden's like, oh, this is what being married's like? Oh, my.
And he goes, woman.
He's like, woman, all right?
And then he got shot 17 times.
He gets shot 17 and then Raiden like runs through the alleyway after Dilaf, and then Dilaf tackles him out of nowhere because Raiden just walked straight into his trap. And Dilaf's like, "Mwahaha, you fell into my trap," and pulls out his sword and slices his arm open.
Oh, this is the Elantrian cutting sword that I made especially for cutting Elantrians.
And then he finishes an Aeon super quick before Dilaf can slice him open again. And a thin wall of light appears between him and Dilaf. Dilaf pokes the wall. This is real Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah.
And then Dilaf's like, oh, I can't stab it with the sword. Like, this isn't working. So he reaches up and taps the wall with his hand. And his palm flashes briefly and the wall shatters. So Dilaf can just shatter Aeon spells, I guess.
Mm-hmm. He's just built like that.
And Raidon's like, oh, this dude like destroyed my illusory face before. Of course he can just like negate Aeons and stuff. Dilaf basically jumps him from behind, starts beating the crap out of him and laughing at him. And then says Dilaf laughed, tapping Raiden on the side of the face with the tip of his sword. The Skas are right then. Elantrians are not indestructible. Which Skas is a word that I don't think has been mentioned before.
Yeah, because it's a Mistborn term, but they haven't mentioned it previously.
Well, not ska, not like the Skas. Skaze.
Oh,
different. I think it's pronounced skaze.
I listened to both of them, and it's
it
when
might
I was
be
listening to the
pronounced the
thing,
same.
it was pronounced the same.
I don't know.
I assumed that it was the same word.
No, different word. It's this Skaz, skaze, but yeah, it's not Skas, Skaz. And then Dilaf has his whole, this is how I'm gonna win. And then a blade shoots out and just almost pierces Dilaf's head, and Dilaf starts beefing it out with Sereni, and the bone patterns between his skin start glowing, and his body starts like twitching and moving super, super fast. And then he stabs Sereni through the shoulder, which, wow, what a rescue. And then Dilaf has one of the best lines in the entire book where he's standing over both of them. They're bleeding. He's like, and my revenge begins. You may stop yelling, my love. To the voice in his head, his screaming wife, and he's like, my revenge begins. Can you shut up? Yeah. I'm gonna kill them. Shut up.
But he's straight up doing the I don't know what to think no more, man. I don't know what to think. Get out of my head. Get out of my head.
Get out of my head. You may stop yelling, my love. I don't think that's gonna stop the dead wife inside of his head.
Oh, this will surely cure him of all his ailments.
Yeah, and then Raiden looks at something from behind him, and Dilaf frowns and turns to follow his gaze. And then it's the Yorn, Raiden. He's back! He's back! That's why he's the GOAT! The GOAT!
He has returned, my beloved.
And I like how it's from Raiden's perspective. So in his head, he's like, strangely, Dilaf didn't seem happy to see his companion. Bro missed a whole lot of lore. He does not know what happened.
Aren't you guys friends?
And then Dilaf screams and swings his sword at the Yorn, and Raiden stops and whips out his arm from beneath his cloak, and Dilaf's sword hits his arm and stops. And Serena's like, and does the Wojak.
And she goes, oh, robot?
And she's like, what, you're one of them? And then Raiden's sleeve gets pulled off, and it reveals that his arm has all the twisted patterns and like bone outcroppings and stuff. And Dilaf's like, wait, when did that happen? And I guess when Raiden was there for a couple months at Dakor, like part of his body turned, but not fully. And where is it? Raiden ignores Dilaf, though the monks start. I like how Dilaf he's supposed to be smart, but he just keeps swinging at Hrathen's enhanced arm, and it just keeps not doing anything, and he's just like getting visibly agitated, trying to like, I don't know why you wouldn't switch to another arm. And
yeah,
then,
like he's got two of them. It's only the one arm. Literally anywhere else on his body.
and then finally he's like, you know what? And then he swings it at Hrathen's side instead, and Bjorn just ignores it and grabs Dilof's neck, and it says the little monk gasped, dropping his sword in pain, and Hrathen's arm began to glow. Hrathen just force chokes Dilof pretty much.
Yeah.
And then he lifts Dilof off the ground, and Dilof is squirming and gasping, and Hrathen just holds him aloft, and I like the line, he stared upward toward the sky, eyes strangely unfocused. Dilof proffered like some sort of holy offering. The Gjorn stood there for a long moment, immobile, arm glowing, as Dilof became more and more frantic. And then there was a snap, and Dilof stopped struggling. Hrathen lowers the body with a slow motion and tosses it aside. And then, I like that, he looked toward Raoden and Sereni, stood quietly for a moment, then toppled forward lifelessly. Damn. Mm-hmm. What a way to go out. Pull up, force choke the guy who ruined your entire thing, and then just be like...
Yeah, and then Raoden's just watching this shit like...
He's like, what is happening? And then
he's just watching it like one of the React YouTubers just, yo, you guys see this?
You guys seeing this? This is crazy. And then yeah, they're just kind of, everything after that is just them kind of talking about like, okay, this is like, we're good now. What's happening here? What's happening with the Armada? What's happening with our father? Blah, blah, blah. And chapter 63, I think this is the last chapter. Let me see. I'm going to look it up real quick.
Last chapter and then the prologue?
I think so. How many chapters?
No, epilogue, not prologue.
Elantris? Yeah, 63. This is the last chapter. Hell yeah. Chapter 63 is Sereni, and this is just basically just clean up. They're just talking about the wedding. It's not really important. Raiden's like, that might say something about you, Licky Stick. And this is when I started hating Raiden even more than I actually did, because that is an awful nickname, and I hope everybody who uses it dies. And then they had the whole wedding ceremony, and the entire time, Raiden's just kind of letting his mind wander. I like how it's his wedding, and he's not even thinking about that. Mm-hmm. He's thinking about a bone retrieved from the body of a dead feudal monk that they decided to keep so they could like study, I guess. Yeah. And he recognizes a bunch of the like symbols on it. The Derethi monks had devised their own version of Aeon Door. And then
I also kind of like the line earlier in the chapter where it's just like Sereni refuses to let him out of her sight until they get married.
Where is it? Oh yeah, he's like, shouldn't you be alone in the chapel praying and preparing? What happened to tradition? She's like, I tried that once already. This time I intend to keep a close eye on you.
She's like, I gotta make sure you don't disappear again this time.
For some reason, my potential husbands have a way of disappearing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or dying.
Yeah.
You know, she really just real lucky in that way.
Truly the most lucky thing that could happen to you. Raiden just keeps thinking about how like worrying it is that Wern has access to the door, and Dilof and his weird ability to like resist and destroy Aeons, and how if you just give a bunch more monks that power, like you're kind of just screwed.
Oh, also, Dilof's whole like using the similar thing that they use but differently kind of reminds me of Scar.
Yeah, it is. It is very. I mean, Hrathen's the one with the magic arm.
Yeah, that is also true.
That he then uses at the end to do something good.
Yeah, but...
and Loki is, like, super Full Metal Alchemisty.
Yeah, but Dilof's is, like, using similar thing, but using it in a different way.
Yeah.
In the way that Scar does.
Like, slightly warped.
Like, using alchemy, but using alchemy differently because he doesn't support it.
Well, I mean, because Dilof and Hrathen both have, like, the Dakor thing. the only difference is Hrathen only has it on his arm because he left Dakor. So it would still, like, Hrathen technically is...
Yeah, that's true.
Hrathen basically is Scar. Goes from being the bad guy and then, like, still kind of is the bad guy, but realizes, like, wait a second. And does something good with his arm. His magic arm. Mm-hmm. There are a lot of Full Metal Alchemist parallels now that I think about it. That's weird.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, if only, this was good like Full Metal Alchemist.
Yeah. I wonder if this would be better as an anime.
Yeah, an anime, but they cut out all the really bad stuff.
Yeah.
Because honestly, because like the ending of it, like the ending third is good. Like it's passable. It's just the rest of it is just...
It just really suffers from like first book syndrome and like not really
putting in so much stuff that doesn't matter, that no one cares about and no one should care about because there's no reason to.
Yeah, it's just and then where is it? Yeah, they just keep talking about the ceremony and they get married, nice. And then probably the worst line on the entire book, Serene's like, however, there's one thing I've looked forward to even more than my wedding. And Raiden raises an eyebrow and she whispers mischievously, the wedding night.
Yeah.
Probably the worst line in the entire book. And it made me it made me actually just groan, go, when I read that for the first time.
Dolly would say.
Yeah, it is actually like some Dolly work right there. Mm-hmm. And then the epilogue is kind of just them standing there outside Iden's like barrow.
And it's like a couple years. Like it's a time skip though, isn't it?
Yeah, a little bit. And I like how Raiden let all the nobles keep their title. He's like, oh yeah, you guys can just keep I don't know, being nobility or whatever, but I'm gonna like get rid of all the slaves and stuff. So sure, there you go. And then none of this is super important. Galadon is still bald, even as Elantris, which is pretty funny. Bro is
yeah, he was just made to be bald.
And then Aiden had turned into Elantris like 5 years before, and they just covered up his transformation with makeup instead of throwing him in Elantris, which that's just the whole thing I don't really think was written very well. And then Keen apparently told them that about 10 years ago he had led his fleet against Serene's father to steal the throne. And Serene's like beginning to believe it might legally have belonged to him and that even Tio had stolen the throne from him since Keen was the older brother and he should have inherited. And then blah, 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 blah. None of this is really important. And then they have a nice moment where she approaches like the final grave next to all the other people who like died saving Elantris or whatever. And they made a grave for Hrathen, which I think is, I'm sure that must have been quite the conversation to be like, oh yeah, by the way, the guy that we like hated this entire time?
Yeah, the guy who like wanted to like...
He's actually pretty cool.
Yeah, he did in fact save us at the end.
Yeah, and I know you missed a whole bunch and you only saw him save us at the end, but he also saved us like another time too.
Actually,
he wasn't that
chill.
Bad.
No, you don't understand. He was actually really cool.
And then she gives him like a speech about Hrathen, and they're probably all just like, "What is she talking about? This dude is like, wasn't he like here to destroy our country or something? I don't know why she's giving him a speech." I think it's nice though that they don't just leave it as like he dies and then that's like the end of it. I think it's nice that they give him like a historical rewrite basically. It'd be like, oh no, this dude like he actually helped us in the end. So I don't know why, but yeah, well, because I like how he doesn't explain at any point either.
Yeah, well,
like
also,
why he's doing what he did.
He doesn't know.
Yeah.
You know, he doesn't know because he's not told, so he's just like, well, but he did save us at the end, so I guess he counts.
That is the other thing I like about Hrathen's character is there's no, like, it's not light switch. All of a sudden he's like, oh, this is why I want to help you. I realized all of a sudden, like, till the point when he dies, he's very like, I don't really know if this stuff's, like, right or wrong or which way I should be going or blah, 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 or, like, what I'm supposed to believe.
All he knows is that he hates Dilloth.
Yeah.
He hates that twink. Kill the twink.
And then Elantris ends with, I like the line at the ending. When you speak of this man, let it be known that he died in our defense. Let it be said that after all else, Hrathen, Gjorn of Shu-Dereth, was not our enemy, he was our savior. And that's how the book ends.
Mm-hmm. And also, he apparently had a thing for my wife.
I mean, they don't know that.
I know.
They didn't tell him that at any point.
Yeah, the only person who knew that was him.
Yeah. A little secret that he took to the grave. Yeah, what did you think of Elantris overall? I mean,
Didn't like. Last Third was fine. Last Third was acceptable because it reminded me of a much better series.
Yeah. Are we gonna go over the epilogue with Hoyd?
We can probably just do that along with
the Secret History and...
Yeah.
Are we doing Secret History and 11th Metal together or separately?
So I think probably next episode what we'll do is read the 11th Metal and then... Or actually probably read first the, like, anniversary edition Elantris. It's like an epilogue pretty much that happens after all this stuff. And then read the Elantris world, like, planetary essay. Then read 11th Metal and the Mistborn planetary essay. And then the first Secret Histories in, like, 4 sections. So we'll probably read the first section of that. Once I get home, I'll check in my book what it looks like. But yeah, so we should be able to do that. Now that I have more time, we can actually crank through these. I'm very excited.
To reading something that's not Elantris.
I'm very excited to see what you guys think is Secret History. What do you guys think Secret History is going to be? I re-listened to, like, our first episode when I asked that when we were going over Mistborn. And from what I remember, you guys thought it was going to be, like, a mix of, like, leading up to Mistborn. I think one of you said, like, the Lord Ruler's, like, logbook stuff. Somebody else said something about... I don't remember. I don't remember what other guys... It's been a minute since I re-listened, but... You guys had, like, a couple different ideas. So what do you think Secret History is going to be?
I don't know. I think it's going to be something with the Lord Ruler, like pre-Mistborn.
I mean, that's the only thing I can think of. That's still kind of what I'm expecting.
It's like Lord Ruler backstory.
Kind of. Otherwise, maybe, like, the world setup, how the world came to be beforehand, before the Lord Ruler and stuff. I don't know.
Yeah, it'll be interesting too because this will be the first book that Patrick has not read, so you guys will be reading at the same time, and you can bounce ideas off of each other. Yeah. Which for me, that's the fun part of doing stuff like this is knowing what's gonna happen and having you guys just throw out random predictions and stuff. Be like, I wonder if this is gonna happen, or this is what I think about this, and somebody else will be like to add on to that. So. I think, yeah, I'm excited to see what you guys think about Secret History. Those are some interesting ideas. I'll send you guys the chapters when I get home. I'll have to find the anniversary thing for you because it's probably in your book, huh?
I don't have the anniversary.
Oh, you just found it online?
Yeah, you can find it online very easily.
Then I'll just find it online and send it to you. It's super short. It's like 2 pages.
2 or 3 pages.
Yeah, it's not that long. It just adds some interesting context and world building and some interesting things that are gonna make you go, wait a second, what the fuck?
I'm looking forward to it.
Yeah, we'll see you guys next on Baja Talks. That was our Elantris.
Among Us.